I call this meeting to order. Please note the meeting is recorded and live streamed at www.crpusd.org. Members of the public are entitled to speak to any item on the agenda, either immediately after the item is called by the board president or following background information provided related to the item at the board president's discretion. Each person is entitled to speak on any agenda item only once at any meeting. Although board members may seek additional information, participation in debate on any item before the board shall be limited to members of the board. Please fill out a comment card which will be given to the board president indicating the item you wish to address. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per individual and 20 minutes per item. I would like to invite up Liam Jackson, who is in Ms. Miller's class at Thomas Page Academy.
Please stand for the pledge. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item B, approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second. First and second. Any questions?
Yeah, I'd like to, on the consent agenda, pull 4L, please.
Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 2, presentations. There are none scheduled tonight. Item 3, communications. Student board member reports. Amelia Torres.
Good evening, everyone. On September 28th last month, Rancho Cotati played against their longtime rival, Cardinal Newman, and gave it their all, but ultimately the varsity team lost 42-21. On October 5th, ASB hosted their Night in the Bay rally, where students were given the opportunity to come together to show their spirit and win spirit points. The varsity football team was introduced, as well as the nominees for homecoming court. Later that night, our varsity football team defeated Windsor at our homecoming football game, finishing with a score of 44-0. At the game, our homecoming king and queen were crowned, and the winners were Diana Owley and Hector Cuevas. Each class got to create a homecoming float based on different parts of the Bay Area. The seniors float was themed Oakland, the juniors was themed Union Square, the sophomores was themed Fisherman's Wharf, and the freshmen was themed Alcatraz. Ultimately, the seniors took first place. Rancho's Junior Class Council successfully put on their Bay Area themed homecoming dance on October 6th, where they sold over 600 tickets. This year, the staff especially focused on working hard to create a safe, fun environment for everyone to enjoy. This month, each sport has hosted a pink game where students are encouraged to wear pink to raise awareness and money for breast cancer. Tonight, girls volleyball is playing against Pioneer High School, and if they win, they get to go to playoffs. It is also girls volleyball senior night, where each underclassman chooses a senior to appreciate and write a speech about for their last home game of the year. Earlier today, our AVID class took a tour of UC Davis and Sac State, and later on this month, Mr. Smith's classes will be touring Medtronics in Santa Rosa. Football senior night will be held next Friday during their game against Ukiah, which gives underclassmen the opportunity to wave the seniors farewell as their high school football journey comes to an end. Girls soccer is gearing up to kick off their season by practicing almost every day, and all winter sports officially start on October 29th. The College and Career Center has hosted presentations given by the Navy, Sac State, and Northern Arizona University. The SRJC Jumpstart program will also be visiting this month to register students for the JC for the upcoming school year. In other news, ASB is partnering up with Bellanote, a linen company based in Marin, to host a pop-up shop at Rancho's campus later this month. and a large percentage of the proceeds will go back into the ASB class to use for rallies and other spirit activities. ASB has also started back up their Student of the Month program, which lets teachers nominate students who they feel have shown good leadership and citizenship qualities. We had over 20 winners, each were given a small basket of prizes, and last but not least, Mr. Smith's class have been working hard to replant the tree in the center of the pod, which should be happening next month. Thank you.
Thank you. Caroline Lindsay? Carolina, what's that? Carolina. One day I'll get it right. I'm sorry.
Good evening, everyone. Since I last saw you, quite a bit has happened. Last time, I mentioned that our ASB students would have the opportunity to meet with the architects for the new school. At the meeting, we were able to share our ideas about the features of the new school, especially sustainability, in order to help the architects figure out the priorities of the students. Our counselor, Mrs. Lucchese, hosted another guidance night, this time for 9th and 10th grade, to educate students on graduation and college requirements so they are already on the right path before they even become upperclassmen. We also just held an info night at our new site for possible incoming freshmen where they could learn about what it is like to go to Tech High from Tech students and staff. They covered everything from classes to clubs with presentations and a Q&A period. We had a great turnout and will be hosting a second info night 1 week from tonight. This month, our ASB is participating in the National Clothing Drive, Socktober. To kick off Socktober, we had a crazy sock day where students and teachers donned their most interesting socks. Each week, we collected different winter essential items. The first week was blankets, the second was socks, this week is gloves, scarves, and beanies, and the final week will be jackets. So far, we've collected almost 100 blankets and nearly 600 pairs of socks. And all of this will be donated to the Red Bull Gospel Mission and its sister programs. Socktober has been a huge success, and it is open to the community as well. So if anyone can donate by contacting us at technologyhighschool@asb@gmail.com. After months of work, last weekend was Founders Day. Tech High could be spotted at this event on our Job the Hut float and on our Dippin' Dots booth. We raised about $500, so it was definitely a fun and successful day with our community with good music and good times. Thank you to the Founders Day Committee for putting on this wonderful event year after year. On the 11th, we hosted our annual Rube Goldberg Night, where the freshmen show off the simple machine projects they've been working on. A Rube Goldberg project is a series of simple machines set up to set up, connect, and eventually complete a task from baking an egg to watering a plant. There were many creative and artistic projects that incorporated the physics they've been learning in their classes. Friday was also our annual all-nighter to raise money for robotics. Students bring their entire computers and game consoles, or for me, board games and blankets. And the night was a blast as always, with food and getting a little too into winning Mario Party at 3 a.m. A huge thanks to all the parents and teachers who chaperoned the night. They did an amazing job, and without them, the event wouldn't be possible. It really shows how dedicated our community is, as every year a group of adults decide that they are okay with driving to or from school at 2 a.m. This weekend is our space-themed homecoming. In preparation, we are currently having a spirit week, with every day being some way related to space and sci-fi. This year, over 200 students are attending homecoming, which is about 2/3 of our school. We were also excited when we heard this, as we've never had this much attendance before, but then our joy was immediately squashed as we found out our venue only holds 180 people. Luckily, the Doubletree Hotel has been a pleasure to work with, and together we were quickly able to find a larger room, and we can now actually celebrate this achievement. Last week was the end of the quarter, so many classes have been having quarterfinals, and quarter reports should be coming out soon. Our fall sports are also beginning to come to a close, with volleyball's last game and senior night this Thursday. Everyone should come to support. So come to the game to support volleyball's one senior, Helen Nguyen, on Thursday at 6 in the 10th Pavilion. Tech soccer is also getting close to playoffs, and our girls team is still undefeated. Cross country is doing great as well, and have 35th Mariner by this Sunday. As this new quarter begins and seniors are starting to apply to college, we are all excited, or in the seniors' case, mildly terrified, but still excited to see what's to come. Luckily, we have the support we need from our amazing staff that is working so hard to make sure we all feel prepared for the future.
Thank you. Item B, Rohnert Park Cotati Educators Association Report, President Debbie Zies.
Good evening, President Farrell, Superintendent Haley, and members of the board, and young members of the board. You guys are awesome, by the way. Just want to let you know that. First, I would like to congratulate Dr. Haley on his new position and thank him for his service to the Cotati Rohnert Park Unified School District. I wish him continued success in his future endeavors. I'm jealous you're going to San Diego. I used to live there, it's awesome. We have been extremely busy during the past few weeks. Our elementary schools have been having their parent conferences, and many teachers have been coming in early in the morning and staying late in the evening to communicate with their students' parents about how best to support them in their educational journey. We continue to work to build our RIPSIA community, developing relationships, building trust, and unifying and engaging our members. We will be having a training for all our site reps next month. Teachers are doing amazing teaching in this district. We will be highlighting Michael Golden, a teacher from Rancho Cotati High School, next month. He will be sharing with us his passion for mindfulness and how effective it has been in the classroom and on the football field. There have been many new and exciting changes in our district, but with change comes uncertainty. Concerns include moving forward with new leadership, new curriculum, and a new student information system. However, with all these changes, one thing remains constant: the committed and passionate teachers of RIPSIA. The RIPSIA team will be here to continue to serve, love, and foster the students of CRPUSD. I would now like to highlight Mary Rita Williamson and inform you of the amazing talent she brings to the district. Mary has constructed temporary labyrinths to help students calm themselves in moments of difficulty. Tonight, I would like to introduce to you Mary Rita, and she will share more of her passion for this wonderful, positive tool and how she has been leading the way to bring this to our schools and our community. Mary?
I have handouts. Does everybody like handouts? So, the ones that are laminated, I want that. And the other ones are separated by these tall sheets, but I didn't staple them. That'll make sense. I hope you all saw the beautiful labyrinth on the front page of The Voice. Clive, I met online on a labyrinth website, and he was traveling around America with his portable labyrinth, and I was able to bring him to university with the support of Charlotte Straw and the other teachers there. When I was working at university, I was able to build a temporary labyrinth there, and so a lot of the kids were really familiar with it, and it was great to have Clive come and bring his labyrinth. And he has since posted it online, and so there are people all over seeing your students walk the labyrinth. So you might be thinking, a labyrinth, oh, it's like a maze, right? But a maze, you're supposed to find the center, but it's full of tricks and puzzles, dead ends, and many paths. However, a labyrinth is one path. You start in one place, you walk around one path till you get to the center. And in the center, you can spend some time and calm yourself. And then you walk the same path outward. So it is not meant to be a trick. It's meant to bring you to your center instead of finding its center. And if I had known there was this big space here, I would have come early and made one for you, because they're really fun to make. A labyrinth can help quiet your mind and open your heart. It's also considered sacred geometry. So those of you math lovers out there, geometry is the natural world. It's the relationship of objects in their space. So it's a connection that all people have a connection to without words. I'm trying to think of, oh, and when I had it at university, one of the OTs noticed the kids that were walking the labyrinth, and the ones that kept going back to walk it again and again and again, he was watching how their body moves around the labyrinth, how you tend to turn left and right, and it has an effect on your brain. So he was noticing that just watching the kids. So when I say sacred geometry, I mean sacred like dedicated. It's a special space given respect. So it's not necessarily the way you think of sacred like holy. This is sacred, like dedicated, respected, honored. And the children actually warm to that. They understand it is a different place, and they walk around it or they walk on it, but they know it's for a different reason. It has a perimeter, it has a gateway, it has a path, it's intentional, it offers reflection, and it's very ancient. I think there's actually one of the oldest, I should probably know the numbers, 2000 BCE. They found it in Spain. You can see a labyrinth design. So it doesn't come with instructions, it's just the pattern that's recognized. Mr. Kurata's class at university is working with the engineering club at SSU, and when they do their light experience in December, the children are going to help make a labyrinth out of LED lights. So the children in his class I've worked with already, and I'm going to help them bring that to light so you can come see it and walk it. It was also, since Dr. Haley is heading to San Diego, Coronado High School, where my husband went to school, put a temporary labyrinth on the grass outside their school buildings during finals to help the students relieve the pressure and anxiety that high school students might feel during finals. There's also a peace club in Chicago that I'm familiar with, the woman who volunteers there, and they bring inner city kids in and help teach them mindfulness through making and designing labyrinths and walking labyrinths. And they found great success with that. All the schools in Santa Fe, New Mexico have labyrinths on the elementary campuses. And there is an organization called Paths for Peace, Labyrinths for Peace, and it's about helping. They have a whole curriculum that goes with it in Santa Fe. So I see that this could be a very helpful thing in our elementary schools, certainly, and I've joined the mindfulness club at the high school because I'm working there now. Who knew there was a mindfulness club? So I felt like there was a reason I was there this year. And I really ask your encouragement and open mind about it, and we'll see where it goes. I think it's a wonderful thing for adults, and I'm charmed by children finding it and using it for their own peace. All right. And without further ado, I think that's enough for me. All right. Okay.
Thank you. I never knew what the difference was between a maze and a labyrinth.
Yes.
Now I know.
Yes. And we won't put a minotaur in the center.
And Mary and I actually made one at Richard Crane in chalk. And just a story for you real quick. We had two girls that could not get along. They were fighting, and no matter what teacher or administrator tried to help them resolve their issues, they couldn't. And so she was in the office with them this one time, Teresa was. She was in the office, and the girls they couldn't resolve it. And she said, okay, go back to your room, this isn't working, but on your way, I want you to walk the labyrinth. And they walked the labyrinth, and the first one went in, and when she got to the middle, she waited for the second one to come through. And they met each other in the middle, hugged and cried, and really resolved all their issues. It was pretty amazing. So, thank you for trustees. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Item C, receipt of official correspondence. We received the Redwood Empire Schools Insurance Group Public Self-Insurers Annual Report, which is posted on the website. Item 4, consent agenda. Are there any public comment requests for this item? Can I get a motion to approve consent agenda items A through K and M through O?
I'll second.
And first and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 4L, ratification of agreement with Social Sentinel, thank you, Inc.
So I sent an email to Dr. Haley, and you gave me an answer as to what this was. I just wanted a little bit more discussion, a few more questions. As I understand it, we are entering into get close to this so you can hear. We're entering into a 3-year contract with Social Sentinel to provide, I assume, some type of security or safety measures and then looking at social media for issues that may arise. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
It's a 3-year contract with a 1-year out.
Okay. So how's this work? Do they manage everything, and if they find something, do they go to the police department? Do they come to us? And what's the process?
They provide the district with an alert.
With the alert. Okay. If it's a critical alert on a weekend or something like that, is somebody in the district going to be available?
There's people dedicated to receive the alert. Correct.
Okay. All right.
A limited number of people.
Okay. So it's 365/24.
Correct.
Okay. So all right. So how did we go about, this is the first I heard of this, reading the agenda, finding this. Is this something that...
Actually, I did bring it up previously, and not an extensive discussion. It's not something recommended. It works kind of behind the scenes.
Okay. So what medias will they be scanning?
Again, I don't want to go into too much depth because that's not recommended. If you
Okay.
really wanted to know more in depth, I'd be happy to meet with you one-on-one.
Okay.
Or this could be considered part of our tactical safety plan and discussed in closed session, but they monitor only publicly available data.
Okay. All right. I'll follow up. Thank you.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve consent agenda item 4L? So moved. A second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed?
Item 5, educational services. Is there any public comment for this item? Item 6, personnel services. Are there any public comments for this item? 6A, ratification of personnel action report 1819-3A certificated.
I move we ratify personnel action report 1819-3A certificated.
I'll second.
I have first and second. Are there any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item B, ratification of personnel action report 1819-3B classified.
I move we ratify personnel action report 1819-3B classified.
I'll second.
Are there any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 7, business and operations services. Are there any public comment requests for this item? Item 7A, ratification of commercial warrant register.
I move we ratify the commercial warrant register.
I'll second.
Question?
Yeah.
I reviewed this and I didn't see anything from JC Paper. Is that correct? On the warrants? Or have they changed their name and I didn't see that?
They have changed their name. I don't.
If someone could give back to me.
There is some sales in there from a new vendor, Clean Smart, I believe is their new name.
And it's under the warrants then? Okay, thank you. And then the other question on the warrants, you can see that the improvements to John Reed, a lot of those improvements are on there. So I would like to see, and all that came out of the bond fund, $1.4 million, and this, or $1.398 was spent this month on the bond issue. So I would kind of, get a recap as to what we have left in the bond right now, and a total cost of the improvements that we made at John Reed.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Plan on that in November.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed?
Item 8, board services. Are there any public comment requests for this item? 8A, fiscal update and planning.
There's not a lot of new information for item 1, budget update, but this is the period of time where we will be working on first interim report, which will be brought to the board at its December meeting. I believe we've just concluded our audit, so that report will be done and brought to the board at a future meeting as well. I believe the results of our audit thus far are no findings whatsoever, so that's a good thing. We do plan on giving a more extensive parcel tax and bond authorization update. We are working pretty diligently to get an accounting of where we're at with the two authorizations and make sure we've captured as much cost as we can, and then look to see where we're at with the projects that we have underway and the future projects there. So we will be getting that to you. Don't have anything new under development, but a lot of houses continue to be built. And we do continue to receive developer fees. Item 5, I have with us tonight Dr. Gansler, who will update us on where they're at with the committee that is looking at naming parts of the theater academic and gymnasium building at Rancho Cotati High School. Dr. Gansler.
Thank you. A month ago, Trustee Orloff suggested from the dais over there that I form a committee, and I did just that, and we met twice. I formed a committee of 5 people, and myself, so 6 people. So the committee members were made up of a former PE teacher, a former ranch parent, a current classified employee, and 2 Rancho Cotati alumni. One who's at a university and the other one who is a local businessman. We looked at naming criteria, so we looked at other institutions that name buildings. From there, we worked to create a definition that would guide us. In this case, we looked at any potential honoree exhibiting a high degree of integrity and then achieving distinction in one of the following ways. First, while serving Rancho Cotati High School in an academic or coaching capacity, the individual has provided distinguished service to the welfare of the students. Second, while serving the high school in an administrative capacity, the individual has contributed to the welfare of the school and its programs. And third, if a graduate from the high school, the individual has attained outstanding achievement, preferably at a national or international level in a manner that comports with the mission of the school. From there, we looked at potential nominees and also thought about what it is within the building we would like to look at naming. After some very good discussions, we decided that Henry Sarlot, who worked at Rancho Cotati for 36 years and served as the athletic administrator and taught in the business, English, and mathematics departments, would be a perfect fit for the gymnasium, or the athletic center. Mr. Sarlot passed away a few years ago, but for 36 years he oversaw and guided the construction of a new weight room, football stadium, track facilities, renovation of the gymnasium, construction of baseball and softball diamonds, soccer and football practice fields. He helped guide over 1,400 athletes to become North Coast Section CIF Scholar Athletes. And under his leadership, 170 teams were awarded CIF Distinguished Scholastic status. He, at the same time as he built up the athletic program within Rancho Cotati, he also worked hard to raise the student-athlete GPA from 2.63 in 1984 to 3.0 in 1998. At the same time, increasing the number of students playing athletics from over 542 to over 780. Mr. Sarlot worked very hard to fuse academics and athletics together. We feel that that is what this building represents, and we feel it is a fitting namesake. Thank you.
Did you have any consideration yet for other parts of the building?
So we put that on hold,
Okay.
and there were some ideas that we had not come to consensus on, but yes.
Any questions for Dr. Nick?
Yeah, thanks for your work.
Yes, thank you.
For sure. Where would we put the monument? Sorry, where would we put the monument honoring anybody for the gym at this point? I mean, I assume there's the theater, the gym, and there might be the building itself, depending on where Dr. Gansler goes.
I think we could walk the site with Dr. Gansler or members of this committee and look at what appropriate locations there might be. I think it could be inside or outside. I think that if there's enough square footage of wall space on the outside or the inside.
Okay, thanks.
Or there could even be a section in the lobby. We always intended the lobby to include memorabilia and historical perspectives, and that might be another place.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Nothing much new under safety. I will point out that we've been asked to report on the theater, academic, and gymnasium building, and there have been no safety incidents or safety concerns. We're actually entering the final phases of construction, so that's been going great. And I encourage people to stop by and see the building. Enrollment report is included with the packet. We're still down for the year, but our enrollment did go up by 17 this month, so that's a good thing.
All right. Thank you. Item B, expense reimbursement for trustee Nam pursuant to the mediated agreement.
I recuse myself.
Can I get a motion to approve the expense reimbursement for trustee Nam?
I move that we approve the reimbursement for trustee Nam pursuant to the mediated agreement.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item C, acceptance of gifts and donations to the school district for Lawrence Jones Monetary from Coca-Cola Give Skybridge Americas Incorporated in the amount of $29. And University Elementary bus transportation to the Airmoon Festival from the School Garden Network in the amount of $221 for a total amount of $250.
I move we accept gifts and donations to school and district in the amount of $250.
Second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 9, public comment. Peter Costas.
Thank you. Peter Costas, trustee, Sonoma County Office of Education. I just want to
Okay. We can't hear you if you're not.
give board
Thank you.
members a flyer here and talk about it. Dr. Hayes. Thank you. I just wanted to give the board some updates from the County Office of Education. What I just passed out to you were trainings for trustees for the County of Sonoma and superintendents. We've already had some of them. We had an administrator's kickoff. We had a social emotional student health and safety, which is going to be Thursday, October 13th. These are all free to superintendents, administrators, and trustees. So the one on this Thursday, October 18th is the crisis communication workshop, when bad things happen at school. Thanks for my glasses. So that's going to be this coming Thursday, and that's going to be from noon to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then on February 4th, we have our biannual trustee appreciation dinner, and this is going to be at the Vintners Inn in Santa Rosa, 6:30 to 9:30 p.m., where our County Board of Education wants to show our appreciation to all the trustees in the 40 school districts of the county. So this is something that we invite superintendents, we invite trustees. It's every other year. It's a nice dinner. It's free. And we have a guest speaker, and you can go on our website and sign up for that. And then on February 23rd, we have a board member boot camp. Tools for new board members. It gets into the Brown Act and a lot of other things, and that'll be on the 23rd of February, again, free. And then we have a breakfast on March 8th, which will be on new legislation that's been put out by the governor impacting education. So I just want to give you those things there. The next thing is, I was fortunate enough a couple weeks ago to go to Sonoma State and attend the SHIP Showcase, which is the Summer Student High School Internship Program. There were about 50 students that were nominated. Only 14 students were accepted into that program. We had one student from Rancho Cotati High School that was accepted. Her name is Maria, is it Nega or Naiga? I don't want to mess up her name. But she was a junior, she's now a senior. The internship is for juniors, and they get nominated, and they work with a professor in the science department in different science disciplines, and they come up with a research project, and then they report out on that research project. It's a partnership with SCO and Sonoma State University. What Sonoma State obviously provides the professors and works with the students, and what SCO does is we provide a $1,500 stipend for each student. So your student at Rancho Cotati High School, Maria, she worked with a student at Casa Grande High School in Petaluma, and the title of her investigation was, do newer generation football helmets decrease concussion rates in high school football athletes? So it's pretty incredible. They had an NFL helmet, they had a regular high school helmet used by local high schools, and they had this new helmet. It was black. It was made out of this fancy material. It was heavier. They had all these padding on the inside, like memory foam. It cost like $1,000 each. It's being used at Casa Grande High School in Petaluma. It's being used by a high school in Florida. It's being really studied to see if over time it would reduce concussions, and that's what their study was about. They were looking at the helmets, looking at the impact of getting hit in those helmets, looking to see how the foam would protect students. So it was a pretty fascinating study. So she got a $1,500 stipend for making that presentation. And I'll tell you, I didn't understand anything from her or any of the other students. It's like advanced placement, who knows what. The stuff that are coming up in high school right now is just amazing what these students understand, you know, in terms of the mathematics, the science, and the technology. And then how they're able to present it. I mean, they're not just doing work, but actually present it to a room full of people. And not being intimidated by, professors. And most of these students wind up going to Cal, Caltech, UCLA, Stanford. It's a pretty amazing program. We hope to continue partnering with Sonoma State. Another thing that's going on with SCO is our county superintendent, Dr. Harrington. We own 3 acres of land up on Dutton Avenue where we have a county community school, Amarosa Academy for expelled probation referred students. And 2 different enterprises have bought property right next to our school and want to do cannabis production, want to grow cannabis. And we've been trying to communicate with the city of Santa Rosa, city council, and their one of their conditions to stop that, because cannabis is treated like an ag product, and being an ag product, there's no setback. You can grow it right next to a school. We want a 1,000-foot setback, which is the federal standard, which was what superintendents sign off on when they receive Title I money or any kind of federal money. And at a minimum, we want a 600-foot setback, which is in California. We haven't gotten anywhere with the city of Santa Rosa. We still want to, we've sent letters to them. Our board has passed several resolutions. And we hope to be able to get on one of their city planning commission agendas and speak to their city council. We're not talking about cannabis, we're not talking about the law of cannabis, that's there. We're just talking about it doesn't belong next to a school. We want a setback. And then the county supervisors, they had a vote a couple months ago. They already had a 1,000-foot setback, and there was a vote to eliminate that. But we sent a resolution, other people fought that, and the county board of supervisors upheld the 1,000-foot setback. So if you have a school in the county, you have a 1,000-foot setback. But if you're in a city, it's up to the city council, each city, to determine what that setback is. I don't know if you have any problems here in Cotati or Rohnert Park, but it's a problem in Santa Rosa. And Roseland Prep High School in Roseland School District, somebody just bought a piece of property and wanted to do a 5,200 square foot indoor cannabis operation next to the school. And then our school, Amorosa, on Dutton Avenue, the same thing there. So that's something that our superintendent and our board is really want to make sure that there are setbacks. The other thing is we met with state legislatures last Monday. We met with Mark Levine, Mike McGuire, Bill Dodd, and Jim Wood, and we talked about pressing issues in education. I don't know if any of you were able to attend, but what we really pushed for was adequate school funding in California. And you know, the conversation was, whatever we are now, 45, 44, 47, we're not looking to go to 10 like that. You know, we're looking at, let's have some smart increments to get to, because it's not going to go from 0 to 60. And the other thing we really pushed for was have them really take a look at STIRS and PERS contributions, which are just going up and are impacting our school funds that are going into the classroom. And one of the things that Dr. Harrington told Bill Dodd about was, look, at the very least, why don't you freeze it for a few years? You know, so we don't keep dipping into our general fund to pay for those STIRS and PERS contributions. So with a new governor and new legislature, we'll see where that all goes. And the last thing is, I represent Area 2 in the county, which is mostly Petaluma and a couple of your schools. And I've been coming to your board meetings. And Andrew Leonard, he's a trustee for Area 3, which is Santa Rosa and Bellevue and most of your schools. So I want to introduce Andrew when you get to his card. He'll come up and speak. And Andrew not only is he a trustee for SCO, representing Area 3, but he's also vice president for the Lyman Academy and Next Gen's Trade Academy, which is also in your schools. So, and again, Dr. Haley, best wishes to you, and I told you earlier, I really appreciate how accommodating you were to me and welcoming you are to me at your board meetings, and also visiting your schools. And you know, Leffer and Tracy and Mark, best wishes on your elections.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Andrew Leonard.
Good evening. My name is Andrew Leonard. I'm the Area 3 trustee for the Sonoma County Board of Education. Thank you for listening to me speak tonight. As Peter said, most of my trustee area actually covers a lot of the schools in this district, and I'm looking forward to coming to more of your school board meetings. Admittedly, in 3 years, this is the first one, and regrettably so. I wish I had come to more in the past. So I'm looking forward to coming to more in the future. As Peter said, I work for the Lyme Foundation. One of our main programs at the Lyme Foundation is the Next Gen Trades Academy. This is a vocational exposure program for youth ages 16 to 24. And Rancho Cotati High School is actually one of the first schools where we piloted this program a few years ago. And the idea of this program is to better prepare students for careers in the trades and to actually get them placed. And so they come out of the program with a better resume, better interviewing skills, the California 10 worksite safety, construction worksite safety certification, and they're ready to go into the trades. So we've had many students hired directly into the trades, into roofing and construction and electrician work and things like that. I previously worked for United Way of the Wine Country running the Schools of Hope program, which I'm not sure if it's still active in the district, but It was at one point, it's a tutoring program, and I, before working at the Lime Foundation, worked for First Five. So if it wasn't already apparent, I've spent a lot of time and energy and many years working in education, working to better opportunities for young people through the entire K-12 gamut. So one last thing, we at the Lime Foundation are going to be moving into a space directly across the street from Rancho Cotati High School, which is the Sozo Teen Center, and we will be hosting our Next Gen Trades Academy in that location, along with some other locations as well. So I look forward to seeing you more in the community and more in the district and more here in the boardroom. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Item 10, we're going to convene to closed session. I will take public comment after announcing the items for closed session, but I wanted to say something else first. Dr. Haley informed the Board of Trustees that he was selected as the sole finalist and then appointed as superintendent in a district in San Diego County. He did so on Thursday, September 13th, by sending the following email. Trustees, I need to inform you that I have been selected for appointment as a superintendent in a district in San Diego County, and I intend to accept. This is not final and will require agreement on a contract for employment. I will keep you informed in the process and work with the board president on beginning a transition plan when the offer is finalized. On Friday, September 14th, Dr. Haley sent a message to all staff in the district informing them of his appointment. As Dr. Haley explained to the Board of Trustees, by law, a board can only take action on a chief executive officer at a regularly scheduled meeting. For the district he was appointed to, that would not occur until October 11th. Rather than wait until that date, for the above, Dr. Haley wanted to give as much time as possible to Cotati Rohnert Park Unified to plan its transition. At the direction of the board president, he prepared options for the district as to how to move forward. Due to timing considerations, which included the upcoming election, the most reasonable course of action was to look for an interim superintendent who could begin as soon as was required. A list of possible interims included retired superintendents who had familiarity with the district. One would have been preferable, but due to conflicts of interest, he was not able to be considered. Additionally, a problem with retired superintendents is a cap on their earnings imposed by the state teachers' retirement system. This can result in reduced work weeks or the necessity to secure more than one to finish a school year. This often results in an increased workload for staff. During this period of time, a possible interim superintendent indicated to the district that he was available. He had not yet retired and was interested in changing districts. The board was informed of his application and a special meeting was called for October 12th for the full board to interview him for the position. Dr. Haley's contract was approved by his new district on October 11th with a start date of November 1st. This necessitated swift action by the board to have someone in place, as is required as chief executive, for the same date. The board will further discuss this appointment in closed session. If agreed in closed session, immediately following, the board will consider action on a contract to appoint an interim superintendent in open session. The board needs to take action tonight, or if not, it will not be able to take action until its next regularly scheduled board meeting on November 13th. Regarding this process, we held our regular board meeting on September 18th, at which all trustees had an opportunity to comment. 2 trustees passed and made no comment. There is no set way of seeking an interim superintendent, as each situation is unique. Any trustee had the opportunity to contact me regarding the process, ask questions, or offer a recommendation. Hiring an interim superintendent is not the same process as seeking a permanent superintendent. By hiring an interim superintendent now, the board can take the time needed to develop next steps for seeking the permanent superintendent. This process can and should include community involvement. We are now adjourning to closed session to consider A, public employee appointment interim superintendent, and conference with agency labor negotiator Tracy Farrell, unrepresented employee interim superintendent. Is there any public comment?